M. Night Shyamalan's new film Trap is in theaters now, but will you feel trapped if you buy a ticket? I've got my thoughts right now. This video is brought to you by Mando. Go to shopmando.com and use promo code Dan for a special offer, and stay tuned after the review for more info. Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell here with my thoughts on the latest film from M. Night Shyamalan, Trap, which is in theaters now. And every new film from M. Night Shyamalan is really a roll of the dice. He has the greatest range of any director I can think of working right now, in that he has made everything from amazing films to atrocious films, and seemingly everything in between. Josh Hartnett stars as Cooper, a suburban dad taking his teenage daughter Riley, played by Ariel Donahue, to an arena concert by pop superstar Lady Raven, an event that was obviously inspired by Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. When Cooper sees an enhanced police presence at the concert, he's told by the world's most informed t-shirt vendor that the concert is actually a sting operation to capture a notorious serial killer called the Butcher, and the sting is being led by an FBI profiler played by Haley Mills. Unfortunately for that t-shirt vendor, Cooper is the Butcher, and spends a good part of the film trying to figure out how to escape the trap that's just been set for him. Note to the FBI, if you're going to set up a meticulous trap to capture a brutal, intelligent, impossible to catch serial killer, next time maybe don't inform the entire event staff about exactly what's going on. I think maybe a general overview might be more successful in the future. Now, it should be noted that pop superstar Lady Raven is played by aspiring pop superstar Salika, who wrote and performs all of the songs that are featured in the movie. It should also be noted that Salika's full name is Salika Shyamalan, and she is the eldest daughter of director M. Night Shyamalan, and it should be further noted that this film contains no fewer than 6, and probably more, of Salika's original songs in their entirety, which to me feels like this is a movie that's less about setting a trap for a serial killer and more like M. Night Shyamalan setting a trap for the audience in order to put his daughter's music in front of a worldwide crowd. If you're excited about this movie as a Josh Hartnett comeback vehicle, then you should know going in that this is just as much an infomercial for Salika, and she is eventually promoted basically to co-lead status of the film. Now, as a music listener, and I don't have the most expert ears in the world, I'd say her music is fine and offensive pop music. To my eyes as a movie critic, I would say that her acting is also fine, though perhaps a little less inoffensive than her music. But to be fair, the acting part isn't really her fault, because for some reason, starting with Lady in the Water back in 2006 and then really kicking into high gear with The Happening in 2008, M. Night Shyamalan has decided to consistently write his characters as if they have never had a human interaction before. The dialogue is written oddly, spoken in a bizarre way, and delivered across all of these films by too many good actors for this to just be a series of bad performances. There are character scenes and lines in this movie that make no sense and serve no practical purpose outside of whatever M. Night Shyamalan has in his head, and this is, at his point, his trademark as a filmmaker. He makes movies that often are so weird that they seem like they come from another planet. The setup of Trap is a good one. It has the makings of a claustrophobic thriller, with the tension gradually increasing as the net closes in around Cooper. Unfortunately, the movie taps into about 25% of that potential. Cooper does have moments of risk and quick thinking that show that he is this brilliant serial killer, but they're intercut with seemingly endless scenes of him meandering around the stadium alongside of what seem like full-length performances of Salika's pop songs that are largely shot from like a locked-off tripod that makes it seem like M. Night Shyamalan was like filming his daughter's dance recital and then just cut it into the movie. Trap does eventually take some turns that help to ratchet up the tension and suspense, but somehow, and I'll never understand how this happened, the filmmaker that brought us The Sixth Sense and Signs, two of the most tension and suspense-filled and atmospheric movies of the late 20th and early 21st centuries, has somehow forgotten how to build and sustain tension and suspense in his current films. I'm not sure what Josh Hartnett did to the movie gods to deserve having M. Night Shyamalan as the director of his big comeback vehicle, but he's actually pretty good when he's not forced to deliver the M. Night Shyamalan stilted dialogue like he's some sort of a space alien. And he's particularly strong in the third act of the movie when he's actually allowed to, act. After a strong supporting performance in Oppenheimer last year, I'm hoping that Trap at least serves as a proof of concept for another director to give Josh Hartnett the shot that he deserves at a big comeback. As far as the rest of the cast, they, do what they can. Kid Cudi even shows up for an appearance as a character who serves no purpose in the movie and is so bizarre that it feels like he was given a box of wigs and costumes when he showed up on set and told to make up his own character and dialogue, which probably means that he is exactly the character that M. Night Shyamalan intended for him to be. It's also nice to see Hayley Mills back on screen. For those of you that are younger than my millennial generation, Mills was the star of Disney's Pollyanna in the original Parent Trap as a child actor in the 60s. Then in the 80s, she had her own Disney Channel sitcom called Good Morning Miss Bliss, which was about a junior high teacher and her eccentric class of students. But unfortunately for Hayley Mills, that class included students like Zach Morris, Lisa Turtle, and Screech Powers. And after 14 episodes, Good Morning Miss Bliss was retooled and renamed Saved by the Bell. The high school was moved from Indiana to California, and Miss Bliss did not make the move west with most of her students. It was even stripped of its title for syndication and just repackaged as season 1 of Saved by the Bell. So I'm glad that she is able to get a part in a movie like this to earn some redemption. Not that she really needs to redeem herself for anything. And again, much like Josh Hartnett, maybe this will be proof of concept for another director to put her in a much better movie. Overall, Trap is another verse in what has become the same old song for M. Night Shyamalan for the last 2 decades. It's a promising premise that's imperfectly executed. I'd say that this is a more imperfect execution, aka a worse film, than something like Knock at the Cabin last year, which I didn't think was terrible, or Split, which I think is easily his best film in the last 20 years or so. But it's not as bad as a movie like After Earth, or God forbid, The Last Airbender. It doesn't rise or sink to those levels. Still, Shyamalan seems to have shifted his focus this year to promoting the careers of his daughters, and Trap feels less like a thriller and more like an infomercial for Salika's soundtrack album, interspersed with frustratingly small flashes of why Shyamalan became a successful director in the first place. To paraphrase an actual line that's in the movie, there are a few things that M. Night Shyamalan isn't good at, and showing brief flashes of talent isn't one of them. And if you're having trouble parsing that statement, welcome to the experience of watching Trap. So judging on my personal scale, I think that there are enough good things, including Josh Hartnett doing the best that he can, and as I said, some brief moments of competence that keep this away from the stay away level. So I'm going to rate Trap as not a fan, but there was so much more potential in the setting and the premises and the performances that just wasn't realized. So those are my thoughts on Trap. What do you think? Are you heading to see it this weekend? Let me know down in the comments below. And before we go, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, Mando. Summer is winding down and it's time to get in that last minute summer trip, or for me, 1 or 2 more road trips to catch a screening for a big summer movie. But I like to travel light, and I hate having to do the math when I'm figuring out what toiletries I can take on a plane. How big's the bottle? Do I have to buy smaller bottles? Do I have to get a small size when I get there? But Mando has you covered and can make travel simple with their 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that does the work of a shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant. Plus, you can use it to create a shaving lather, so technically, it's a 5-in-1. Mando is clinically proven to control odor for 24 hours, and their 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar is formulated with a gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at the source. Regular soap can't do that because the pH is too high, which I'd explain further if I'd paid more attention in high school chemistry, but the point is that it was developed by doctors to work. Mando has a special offer going right now. New customers get $5 off of their best-selling starter pack with the code Dan at shopmando.com, and I'm a big fan of the bourbon leather scent because it just kind of makes me feel classy. I don't know. And it's great peace of mind because I know that no matter what my day or my travels throw at me, I won't have to worry about how much I'm sweating or whether I still smell good, because with Mando, I always smell good. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes. And it also comes with free shipping. And I do have that discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off of your starter pack. Use code Dan at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Thanks to Mando for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching. Be sure to stay tuned right here for more movie news, box office, and reviews. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye.